Hello friends and welcome to quiz number 6 in Midi II, Mobile Midi. I'm pretty excited about this because it's possible this could be the future. We could, a few years from now, be joking about, hey, remember how we always used to use computers to make Midi? But let's jump right in. So, first of all, it is false that all instruments on the iPad have MIDI functionality. I don't know specifically which ones do not. I guess I don't know them specifically at all. But some do, some don't. Inside of the Audio MIDI Setup utility is where the control center for all of your MIDI functionality lives. So if you're using a phone, an iPad, some kind of tablet, I think that's specifically Mac oriented. It would be under what's called Audio MIDI Setup. Now, what do not rely on the Audio MIDI Setup? That would be V-Control, NAFI, and the Touch OSC. The OSC, reading this book and reading about OSC is pretty interesting to me for something that I had not really heard of before reading this book. And it will be interesting to see what happens with that. Okay, Android devices do not support the USB host protocol, thus not allowing MIDI to be transferred to them via USB. Okay, how can you send MIDI data? Well, we've got 3 that are correct, and I believe there's 1 that's wrong, and they're going to be jumbled up because I think they're randomized when it creates this question. But the ones that are correct, and I believe these are the ones you have to check. You have to check all 3 of these. Yes, over Wi-Fi using a third-party software, over Bluetooth with a third-party software, or by using the appropriate cables for your device. Those are 3 ways you can send MIDI. Okay, question number 6. The MIDI OSC control apps are used to control external gear and programs via their respective protocols. I am not sponsored by OSC, but I should not be. I really do not want to be. However, that's how they communicate. All right, question number 7. Instrument apps are used as synthesizers to simulate instruments. So if you're making something on your phone, if you're using an iPad or some kind of tablet, you're often imitating real-world sounds or even real-world synthesizers. I've seen a lot of that, where there's some kind of real-world synth that then they reproduce that synth in mobile form. Okay. It is false that the distinction between a sequencer and a DAW, digital audio workstation, is more important than ever before. The distinction is becoming less and less. We're not in the bad old days. My friend had a physical sequencer and it would play sequences of notes. But now sequencer are contained inside of DAWs. DAWs have sequencers. There's not that big of a difference between the two, and so this question is false. Okay, and then when using mobile MIDI, you can make good tracks. Yes. Now I remember this question. The answer is yes, you can make good tracks using mobile MIDI, using a phone, using a tablet. You can make something that actually does sound good. And lastly, it is false that mobile MIDI is more popular than hardwired MIDI. I hesitated after I wrote this because who knows how long I'm going to be doing this particular class, and yeah, it's possible that in the future we've gone over to some sort of mobile device that we're making all of our music on, right? When I went to school, it was frowned upon to do music on a laptop. It was just considered that wasn't fast enough. It wasn't capable enough of doing real work. And now I think we've gotten to the point where laptops are acceptable. And I wonder if mobile devices are going to reach that point sometime soon, sometime later. Maybe something else will come along before then. But I do know that at these prices, the kangaroo is not surprised.